Well, good morning. Once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great day. And I'll wait, as usual, for a few people to come on and say hello. We're going to look at a study that came out yesterday. We're going to be looking something very, very interesting about the gallbladder today, okay? Mike, good morning. Mary, Rosa, good morning to you guys. Andrea from Niagara Falls. Nice to have you on with us this morning. Susan, good morning. Judy, good morning to you. You guys are great. Love having you on. Josh, good morning to you. Jeanette, good morning. Okay. You guys are great. We appreciate it. You get bonjour, you get Glenda from Oshawa, Judy from Morrisburg. Let's see, I'll say hello to a few more. Connie, good morning to you. Donna from Park Hill. Nellie. You guys are all good friends, aren't you? Helena from Cambridge. Lynn, bon matin. Okay. Micheline. Kathy, good morning to you. Okay. You guys, we appreciate it big time. Maria and Sean and Vera, good friends. You guys are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Debbie, okay. And another Kathy. Okay. Dorothy. Okay. This is it blow your socks off day? Nick from our staff this morning. Okay, and another Donna from Cape Breton. And Jeanette and Steph, our good friend. Okay. Oh, somebody's talking about the Maple Leafs. Can't handle it. Okay, Jeanette. So, study came out yesterday. I have a feeling you're never going to hear this anywhere else, but I got to bring it to you because it's really interesting. Okay, so now I want you to put your thinking caps on, and you guys, a lot of you guys will know this answer right away. Why is there so many people, okay? So many people, especially women, but it's not exclusively to women. Why are so many people developing gallstones and diseased gallbladders? Okay? So I'm waiting. Okay? So why is it an epidemic today? Why are so many people developing gallstones and have their gallbladders removed? Why is it that women, more than men, have trouble with gallstones? Okay? Now, again, I'm just going to wait. Let me see if someone comes up and just puts that up. But again, I want you to think about this and where the Martin Clinic comes from, okay? And you guys are great. Too much lettuce, Josh, see? Yeah. Ladies? Okay, so the Martin Clinic, for years I've been saying this, okay? And in my opinion, there's nobody else that has ever said it. Why do we get so much problems with the gallbladder today as compared to 50 years ago? Okay, it's not that nobody ever had trouble with gallbladder, but it's up around 300% higher in the last 50 years. Why is that? Well, Joss had it right. She said lettuce. You're not a rabbit. I have been saying for years, consistently, that you as a human being, okay? You as a human being, you're meant to eat saturated fat, okay? Saturated fat. Your gallbladder is a storage center for bile. You need cholesterol to make bile, and it's a reservoir for that bile. What does bile do? Okay, so you know this. Bile emulsifies fat. A cow doesn't have a gallbladder. Why is that? Because cows eat grass. Okay? They eat grass. So they don't have a gallbladder. They don't need a gallbladder. Why did God give you a gallbladder? Because you're meant to eat animal products. In animal food, you have saturated fat. You know, for the world, for 50 years, I've said, that'll give you cholesterol. That saturated fat, that's what's in your blood vessels. Oh, you're going to have heart disease. Lie, lie, lie. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Brought to you by the cereal companies. They lied. Don't have bacon and eggs. Have our cereal. And I saw online yesterday, Jocelyn, she had a puzzle with all these cereals. And I said, Josh, I hope you're not eating those things. You can make a puzzle with them, but there were cereal boxes. What a lie. You were given a gallbladder to consume saturated fat. You need it. Every cell in your body needs cholesterol. Every cell in your body needs saturated fat. Your brain is made up of fat. But lie, 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 and even today, if you talk to 9 out of 10 gurus who have much education in nutrition, okay, I'm not talking about physicians. Physicians don't get a lot of education in nutrition. They just don't. I know doctors that have gone to medical school for 11 years and didn't even get a half an hour of nutrition. So if you're going to go ask your doctor about nutrition, I actually talked yesterday to a cancer patient. And the cancer patient knew more about nutrition than the oncologist. The oncologist said, well, sugar doesn't do anything for cancer, and, no, you don't have to worry about your diet. Like that, what's that got to do with cancer? And this person knew more about nutrition than the oncologist, but they're not trained in nutrition. It's too bad. Should be a big part of their training, but it isn't. Is that going to change? I hope, but, will I see it in my lifetime? Probably not. Probably not. Okay, so back to the gallbladder. We have an epidemic today of gallbladder disease from the lack of use. Ladies, chicken and salad. Salad and chicken. Now chicken's good. The salad, look, please, okay? Because we have sort of a cancer culture today, and people get uptight really quickly. And I know I'm controversial, but follow me here. I've been saying this for so long, it drives me crazy. Use it or lose it. You have an organ you need to use. And sometimes after the reset, even when they start the reset, because they've never eaten like this for years. They never had bacon and eggs every day. And their gallbladder is going, holy moly. Here I've gone years without use, and now you're using me. And sometimes you can stir that pot. But your gallbladder is so important. Now, can you live without it? Yes, you can. For you ladies that are watching today, and the odd man, if you don't have a gallbladder, okay, but your bile is not made in your gallbladder. Your bile is made in your liver. Your gallbladder is just a little storage pouch. Now, I haven't even got to the headline. So you're following me here. When you don't use your gallbladder, which you're meant to use, if you were meant to be a vegetarian, if you were meant to be a vegan, God wouldn't have given you a gallbladder. You wouldn't need it. It just shows you. It's one of the arguments I make with young people today. Okay? And I love them. But they're wrong. They're wrong. And you know this meatless craze with Bill Gates and the rest? They're gonna tax meat, and they're going after farmers, and oh, it makes me lose my hair. Stress. Because it's not true. It's a lie. And even some doctors who know nothing about nutrition will tell people, well, you know what, you better not have too much red meat if you got cancer. That's worse. It must be. Nah, it's not. So you were given a gallbladder for a reason. Use it. You'll be healthier. Now, here's another one. Just came out yesterday. And again, I'll be shocked if you hear this anywhere else. I hope you do, but I'm not waiting for the rest of the world to catch up with this study that was like buried. You wouldn't believe, how many layers I went down to find this study. But here's what it said, okay? And let me read it to you. Let me read it to you. This is strictly for your gallbladder. PUFAs. You know what PUFAs are? Polyunsaturated fatty acids. Okay? Unsaturated fat. Okay? Because the world said this is good for you. The world said this is good for you. PUFAs. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. Okay? Not saturated fat, unsaturated fat. And okay, so PUFAs, unsaturated fat, in the wall of the gallbladder is another reason, this is the headline, is another reason so many people have gallbladder disease. PUFAs. Now, what are PUFAs? What are polyunsaturated fatty acids? They are not, PUFAs are not man-made, they're not made in nature. Polyunsaturated fatty acids are made in a lab. Now, I am on page 69 of my book, okay? My newest book, okay? There's page 69. There's the reset. I know many of you have it. Thank you very much. Number 1 in Canada. I'm going to venture to say one of the number 1 books in North America. Thanks to you guys. By the way, publisher told us yesterday that we should be back in stock next week. So stay tuned for that, guys. For those who didn't get our book, or for your friends and whatever, okay? Again, great, okay? So let me go to page 69 in the book. And good fat for your gallbladder. Good for your gallbladder, good for everything. Okay, good versus bad. And you see a chart there. So I put it right out there for you. Okay, so saturated fats in nature, the way God intended. Now listen, butter, tallow, lard, palm oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. Those are good oils. You can cook with them. By the way, let me, no, I'll get to this in a second. Has to do with, I flagged another study yesterday, okay, on bad oils, but I'll go into that in a second. Let me stick to the gallbladder. Okay, so you want a healthy gallbladder? Use it. And use it with the right oils, the right fat, saturated, dripping, butter. Oh, Dr. Martin, butter. Ooh, it can't be good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Lard? Lard? Yes, lard. Yes, lard. Now, bad oils made by man. If you read the history, I put some of that history in the book, okay? I put history of nutrition in the book. What was the first fast food? Bread. Because man got a hold of bread in the late 1800s and they changed it. Okay? So when you read about, man shall not live by bread alone, okay? And you read about bread. By the way, I love bread, okay? I could live on bread. I know I can't, but I could, okay? But bread, up till about 1880, was actually much better for you, lower in carbohydrates. Why? Because they crushed by hand the grain. And you got all the vitamins and you got all the minerals in there and you got much lower carbohydrate until man gets a hold of it and they want to mass produce bread. So what did they do? They used porcelain rollers and they eliminate all of the B vitamins and all of the protein, very little protein, and it's all fast food. Bread today, you go, I don't care. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's 17 grain. It don't matter. It's going to make your insulin go crazy in 5 minutes. And this is why I tell people, look, you're a diabetic. You can't have bread. What? I said, well, you can. You have an allergy to carbs. Cut it out. Okay, I don't want to go on a rabbit trail. Okay, so let me give you the list of PUFAs. Polyunsaturated fatty acids. Got it? Here's PUFAs. Okay, here. Canola. What's Canada doing? Canada. It's Canada oil. Canola. A lot of money in it. Okay? But it's man-made. Canola oil is polyunsaturated fatty acids. So you look at it in a container and, in a lot of people's minds, well, that's a better oil than that fat, saturated fat. But no, it's not. Soybean oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, safflower oil, grapeseed oil, margarine, man-made. These things are man-made. They're seed oils. And again, it's because that has gone up about 1,000%, the consumption of that. It's made the gallbladder disease, because what they're saying is, okay, and I'll read you the headline again. PUFAs in the wall of the gallbladder, another reason that so many stones and disease, the gallbladder gets diseased using the wrong oil. It's meant to store bile when you're using the wrong oil. Because a lot of people don't realize that. You go out even for chicken fingers, okay? You go to a restaurant. You order French fries, okay? Maybe with some poutine. No, but, okay? You order French fries. What oil was that cooked in? PUFAs. 99% of the time. It's that oil that's bad because there's a couple of things. One, it's denatured. It's not nature. It's denatured. It elevates your level of omega-6 compared to omega-3. Omega-3, okay, is in look, omega-6, you can eat a peanut and you get some omega-6, okay? So there are ways of getting better omega-6s, peanuts, but don't cook with that oil. And the oil is in every packaged goods. Go to the middle aisles of your grocery stores. What are you going to get? PUFAs. From crackers to breads to whatever. In the middle aisles of your grocery store, it's hydrogenated oil. PUFAs. Your gallbladder hates it. Your gallbladder's smart because that's not saturated fat. That's unsaturated fat. And it's part of the disease. One, you're not using saturated fat. A lot of women, if I went door to door here, okay? I went door to door and just did a survey. And I asked 99 out of 100 people, just about. Here's the answer I get. Well, you can't. Like eggs? How many eggs should I eat a week, Doc? 1 or 2? How about 100? Because they have this in their mind that that's bad. There's cholesterol in it. It's got saturated fat that's going to clog up your arteries. You know, a lot of people don't know much about medicine, but that's an answer that 99 out of 100 will give you. Meat can't be good for you. And eggs can't be, got a limit. Cheese limited because it's got saturated fat. But it's just the opposite. Isn't that interesting? People are losing their stinking gallbladders because of the wrong fat. And they stay away from eating saturated fat. They're eating chicken. Okay, chicken's all right. Okay, you know me. I'm making a point because women love salad, and then they lose their gallbladder. Now it's not the end of the world to lose your gallbladder. But let me do this here because I'm going to just tie this in here this morning because I found this study, another one. This is really fascinating with PUFAs. Okay? I found this. Cooking with vegetable oils. Okay? Cooking with sounds vegetable oils, Doc. Got to be good. Canola and all these vegetable oils must be good for you. No, they're not. They're man-made oils. Sounds good. They give them a title of vegetable oils, but they're not good for you. By the way, can I just say this? Olive is a fruit. Now, you don't put it in a fruit salad, but olives are fruits. I remember, I don't know what day 1 or day 2 in nutrition, when I didn't know that. I always thought olives, they're vegetables. Like I love olive oil, but I never particularly liked eating olives. I mean, they're so good for you. Okay. Cooking, listen to this. Cooking with vegetable oils increases toxic aldehydes, I'm going to explain that to you in a second, by 1 to 200 times. Cooking with, so when you go to a restaurant and they're using peanut oil or canola oil, very inexpensive, and they recook it. That's one of the worst things they do, is every time they make a batch of French fries, they should throw that oil out. I mean, I wouldn't use that oil anyway. But because when you heat it up, ooh, you get, you know what they're saying? Aldehydes. Now, why is that significant? Now, we've been talking about cancer. If you go back a few podcasts, I was talking about breast cancer taking over in terms of numbers. Breast cancer taking over in terms of numbers, not of deaths, but of numbers. It's the number 1 cancer today is breast cancer. That and prostate, whenever ladies, you hear breast cancer, men's ears ought to perk up, because prostate cancer, in my opinion, is the same cancer caused by insulin and estrogen, okay? But anyway, I just wanted to say that. Now, we talked about breast cancer overtaking lung cancer in numbers, but not in deaths. The number 1 death-causing cancer in North America is lung cancer. Even though smoking has gone down this way, lung cancer's, you would think, gee, how can people get lung cancer? They never smoked. And then they talked about secondhand smoke. It's not even that, guys. It's not even that. I'm not telling you any kind of smoking is good. Any physician that tells you smoking is good for you, come on. But they used to. But anyway. The reason there's so much death, and so much death from lung cancer, specifically lung cancer, is aldehydes. What is an aldehyde? It is a free radical. It's a toxin. You know me, I've talked about free radicals. But aldehydes, why? Aldehydes used to happen in the lungs, very damaging to the lungs, as a side effect of smoking. Okay, if you go back 50 years, 50, 60 years, they didn't even know smoking was bad for you. But then, I told you the story of my father. He just went cold turkey, came home one day, and I think I was 10 years old, and he said, I'm not smoking anymore, it causes cancer. She's like, okay, Dad, whose cigarettes am I going to steal? Okay, but smoking caused, here's what we know about it, aldehydes to go up, toxins big time in the lungs. But today, you would think, well, the vast majority of people don't smoke. You can't even go into a restaurant. There's no smoking allowed. You can't fly in a plane. A lot of people, you couldn't come to my office and smoke in my office. You couldn't do it. For the last, I don't know. I remember as a kid going up to my dad's office after school, and all his patients were there, ashtray every 2 feet. I lived like that. That's the way it was, right? But then my generation of, you never smoked in my office. I guarantee you that. But aldehydes, whoop, smoking, cancer. But today, aldehyde's still up there. And people are not smoking like they used to. You know what makes me laugh? Is when I see someone that's got a mask on and smokes. They pull their mask down they come outside. I saw somebody coming out of the grocery store yesterday, and they couldn't wait like they had their mask on. I think they had 2 masks on. And they were smoking. They come outside to have a cigarette. I go, oh, my word, my word, my word. Anyway, aldehydes in the lungs cause cancer. And today, cancer rates of lung cancer is still the #1 killer. How did that happen when they're not smoking? PUFAs. Vegetable oils. Using vegetable oils in cooking. The worst thing is aldehydes is cooking with canola oil and that kind of oil, because it creates aldehydes in the lungs, which causes cancer. And that's why you see not a reduction in cancer rates. And guys, just a little point. Why are people waiting? Because I see it. I saw it yesterday. Early detection of cancer. Early detection. That's medicine. Early detection. Look, guys, I'm not against early detection. What I'm against is, why don't they talk about prevention? The only thing they ever did when it comes to prevention is tell people to quit smoking. Good for them. The Cancer Society, the Heart Association, and all that, they said, stop smoking. Yeah, 100%. It's the only, imagine an oncologist yesterday saying to one of my patients, you know what? Food isn't important with cancer. Oh. It's the most important thing, and they're showing it now. The aldehydes causing lung cancer is from using the wrong cooking oil. PUFAs. It'll destroy your gallbladder, and it'll destroy your lungs. Brought to you by the Martin Clinic. Because you wouldn't believe how far I had to dig to get these stories. They're just not making mainstream. Don't wait for mainstream. Okay. You guys are great, okay? I want to thank you for watching these programs every day. I have to thank our audience. Okay, I mean it. I thank you guys, faithful followers. We appreciate it. I think we have somewhere around 10, 11,000 people in our private Facebook group. We appreciate that too. Invite your friends, invite your family. You know where I come from. You know where I come from. And my job is, I just say this quickly, okay? Because every once in a while, you'll still see it. I've been out of practice now for a year, okay? Out of practice in terms of seeing individuals. I loved practicing. I did. 46 years of it. But my goal, and I used to tell my staff this all the time, was to get to the masses. I wanted to bring the message of good nutrition, true science in nutrition to the masses. It's because of you guys that it's been so successful, okay? And I thank you for that. You have had a big part in that. And we got one of the most popular programs on Facebook because of you guys. And we thank you for that. Our podcast, one of the #1 health podcasts in North America, that's you guys. And even the book, write a new book and you made it a bestseller. That's you guys. So I'm patting you on the back for putting up with me and our rants on a daily basis. Okay, love you guys. And Friday is question and answer Friday, so stay tuned for that, okay? And we'll talk to you soon. Love you.